A lot of people hear the word theater and think it's only for people who can act, sing, and dance. In actuality, the people on stage are only a small part of the team it takes to put on a show. So if you're looking for a way to get involved in your community, meet some new people, and do something creative or just different from your regular routine, you might consider trying community theater. Even if you say, "I don't have a creative bone in my body." A, that's probably not true. And B, there are ways for people of all skill sets and interests to get involved. Here's a quick breakdown of all the different departments that exist and the different skills and interests that they need. Each theater program is a little different, but for the most part, this is a good place to start. First, there's the cast, those people you see on stage. There are the leads, people that have a lot of lines and spend a lot of time in the spotlight. There's also the chorus or ensemble, which are all the people who you see in the background. They have less lines and usually move around as a group. This can be a good way to get involved if you're nervous about being on stage but would like to give it a try. The work involves memorizing your lines, attending rehearsals, perhaps some singing or dancing practice on your own, and of course, showing up for all your performances. For shows that use live music, musicians are sometimes expected to play multiple instruments. Every show is different, so be sure to check with the music director. In addition to attending their own rehearsals and practicing on their own, musicians usually have to sit in their group formation for the entire show. And for some shows, like Disney musicals, it's possible for musicians to be playing for the majority of a 3-hour performance. It should also be noted that for musicals, a piano accompanist can be a huge part of rehearsals. If you can play the piano and sight read well, this can be a fun way to work with the cast, director, and choreographer. Check with the production to see what the time commitment is. Sometimes this can be a paid position. These are the people you picture wearing black and lurking in the shadows. Sometimes their jobs are to pull ropes and make curtains and set pieces move, or fly, in and out. Sometimes they're rolling or carrying set pieces and props on and off stage between scenes. And sometimes they're helping make sure that actors get on and off stage safely and on time. The time commitment usually includes a week or 2 of rehearsals before the show opens, and of course all the performances and strike, taking down the set when the last curtain falls. There are ways you can help with community theater that don't require you to be at performances. One way is by helping to build sets. If you have carpentry skills, that's great, but they aren't essential. If you're willing to learn and get a little paint under your nails, this can be a fun way to do something tangible that also allows you to talk with and get to know your fellow crew members. For people who do a lot of virtual work, it can also be nice to see a finished product you helped make with your own hands. Props are all the objects that actors pick up or touch while on stage. Are you good at organizing lists and boxes and making sure that each item is put in its proper place? Do you love thrift shopping and hunting for curious objects and bargain deals? Do you like making sure that all your purchases stay under budget? Or perhaps you enjoy crafting, painting, bedazzling, or even gluing plates together so they don't rattle. These are all very different skill sets, but all very useful for helping out in the props department. Sometimes, props crew members work performances to make sure that each prop is where it needs to be for actors and backstage crew members. Other times, props crew members only work in the weeks leading up to a performance and a bit afterwards to make sure that borrowed items are returned. Like props, the costumes department needs people who are organized, good at shopping, and good at budgeting. Sewing skills are also invaluable, but you may be surprised how much costume creation is done by hunting through closets. Some costume crew members are needed at performances to help with organization and occasionally helping actors change in and out of their costumes quickly. And there's another aspect of costumes that people don't often think of, but many people can help with: laundry. If you've got skills with hair and makeup, great. And if you're interested in learning, ask how you can help. This crew doesn't have a lot of work in the weeks before the performances start, but there is often some prep and practice, and you will be needed before, during, and after each performance. Do you have an adjustable crescent wrench and don't mind climbing and holding ladders? Then you can help with the lighting crew. A lot of lighting work happens in the week or two before performances, hanging and wiring lights, and immediately after the last performance when you take all the lights down. Some lighting crew members also work during the dress rehearsals and performances, operating the lighting board, learning cues, and operating spotlights. Again, you don't need to be an expert to get involved with this crew, but you do need to be physically able to carry heavy lights and pay attention to safety rigging. Like the lighting crew, the sound crew primarily works in the week or so leading up to a performance and during the show. They may help run cable and set up speakers and microphones. They also help actors put on wireless mics, which, believe it or not, can sometimes require a bit of hairstyling skills. After each performance, you also collect microphones and charge batteries for the next day. If you can be very organized, friendly, and work quickly, consider signing up for the sound crew. For people with at least basic graphic design skills who want to help out on their own schedule, designing the program is a great way to help. This often involves making sure that you collect all the right information, from name spelling to bios, so it can be useful to work with someone else for editing and proofreading. This job may also involve soliciting ads, obtaining image files from partnering organizations, and coordinating the printing. Good organization and attention to deadlines are a must. Are you good with social media? Your local community theater might want your help promoting the upcoming show. Designing and distributing posters might be another way for you to get involved. Helping with accounting and recruiting donations are additional jobs that can often be done on your own time and are super helpful, but not tasks people always think about when they're signing up for community theater. Accounting may involve tracking receipts and reimbursements, making sure vendors get paid, and making sure ad sales and ticket revenue are deposited. Donation recruitment might involve sending letters, making follow-up phone calls, and visiting businesses to speak to owners and managers. The skills needed for these two jobs may be different, but they can work closely together to stay organized. And, while you don't necessarily see the accountant or development team on stage, or maybe you do, these jobs are essential to any production. Many community theater productions involve children, and some productions have lots of children. Each organization does it a little differently, but very often people are needed to help keep these young actors safe and entertained when they're not on stage. If you're good with kids and organizing chaos, consider joining this helpful crew. You're primarily needed during performances and dress rehearsals, though some theater companies have kids present, and in need of coordinating, at all rehearsals. There are bigger leadership roles behind the scenes as well. Depending on your group, these may be hired positions, combined positions, or they may even be done in teams. If you're interested in helping here, let people know. Here's a really quick breakdown of each position. Directors steer the ship, telling the story with the actors and providing the big picture vision for the look and feel of the show. If it's a musical, the music director works with the actors on singing and works with the musicians to perform the score. If there is dancing, the choreographer designs and teaches the movement. There may be costume designers, set designers, lighting designers, and sound designers who work together and with the director to create the look and feel of the show. A lot of their work is done ahead of time and used to guide the set and costume construction, lighting cues, sound effects, and more. The stage manager runs the show, calling cues and ensuring that everything flows smoothly. They also have big roles at the rehearsals to keep everything organized and make sure everyone is where they need to be. If you've never stage managed before but want to learn, see if you can help out. Being on the backstage crew also puts you in close proximity to the stage manager to see what they're doing during the shows. Keep in mind that they have a lot of behind-the-scenes involvement in pre-production, including coordinating schedules and communicating with the cast and crew heads. The person or team that glues all this together and really makes it a community experience are the producers. They are in charge of keeping the show and organization on mission and ensuring that all the crews have what they need to do their jobs. They are responsible for the mission, budget, and deal with a lot of problem solving while keeping the big picture in mind. If you haven't produced before, but are resourceful and good at organizing and problem solving, see if there's a way for you to assist the production team. Again, all these departments and the time commitment will look a little different from one community theater organization to the next. Regardless, there are lots of ways to get involved, meet new people, and try something you haven't done before. Have fun!